Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Don Jo number MEST103. This is a extended lip strike plate is what it is. It is a fairly unusual strike that you're certainly going to see. The fact of the matter is, however, it's a strike that if you need it, you definitely need it. And what it's used for is to prevent, obviously, the latch bolt from making premature contact with the frame or the wall condition that's behind where the strike would otherwise reside. So a standard strike is going to be a typical strike size for the lip length is about 1.25 inches. Well, this lip length is 3 inch. So it's 1.75 inches longer than standard, which means is there some sort of positioning of the frame inside of the wall that's causing this, or is there something substantial added to the application, to the installation of the wall and how it affects the frame that requires a wider strike? Let's take some basic dimensions first, then we'll talk about where it's used. This is a 4 7/8 tall strike. This is the typical size that you're going to see in hollow metal frames. You can put this in a wood frame as well, but generally you'll see a 2 3/4 tall strike. So probably a hollow metal frame is where you'll require this. They said that it was 3 inch wide. Well, the overall width doesn't measure 3 inch. It's about 3 5/8, and that's because the lip length of 3 inches measured from the center of the screw hole to the edge of the lip. Okay, and that's where 3 inch comes in. Now, I had said earlier this is 1.75 inches greater than standard because it is 1.25 inches, pretty typical and common for this sort of application. Where you might end up using this could be simply a situation where you have an 8-inch block, you've got a 5 3/4 frame, and then they've done a wall treatment that's covered the face of the wall and then also come back to the face of the frame as well. So what I think we'll do is let's switch to the screen view and take a look at where this might be used. Okay, so this is the item that we are indeed looking at here, and let's take a look and see where we might end up using such an item. Okay, so you could very likely, and there's no hard and fast rule, but generally where I'll see this sort of requirement would be in a couple of installations. Number one, if it's a hollow metal frame, you could easily have 8-inch block. You could have your hollow metal frame. Okay, your door is going to sit in here. Door swings out. Okay, well, okay, they might do some sort of stucco or situation on the outside of the wall, and sometimes that comes back to the face of the frame. Okay, causing the problem. Your normal strike would sit in here. Well, if you need to get a strike out here, you're going to need an extended lip. Okay, so that's kind of where you'll see that application. Alternatively, you might see it in an application where you have, and they do exist, door swings out. I'm just making up numbers here. You could have a very deep frame. You could have an inset, which is the dimension from the face of the frame to the face of the door, that is substantial, okay? And that you need an extended lip strike for that sort of application. Would be very typical and common where you might see that, okay? So a couple of, where you've got a deep inset or where you have a wall condition that's causing it could be another couple of different ways. You might also have you might also have some unusually thick treatment that's going onto the face of the walls. You have your drywall here, and you've got some really intricate casing, but then it has some sort of feature to it where you require, you know, some sort of application like that. So those are typical reasons why you might need it. Now, the item that we're looking at here has an extended description, which we've primarily gone over. I haven't showed you the screws yet, but I will before we wrap it up. There's a template here that will give you all the dimensional properties, and a very common question that clients ask is, what is the size of the hole? And I'm going to confirm that it's 3.5 by 3/4. The height is indeed, well, it's probably closer to 3 7/16, and the width is certainly closer to 11/16. But in general, these two dimensions are accurate. In the upper right-hand corner, they say that the strike thickness is 90 thousandths. Let's put the caliper on that and check. My caliper is telling me 0.094. 0.094. They say that the finish is 630. That would mean stainless steel. Well, this is the DU color, which is dark brown powder-coated. And I can tell you that the strike is non-ferrous because I just put my magnet on it, which would tell me it's either made of brass or of stainless steel. And in this case, it's certainly stainless steel. So it's a dark brown powder coat over stainless steel. There's next a link to the product catalog, and that's a handy document because it will allow you to review all of the strike plates from Don Jo. They certainly have standard strikes, okay, as well as these extended lip strikes. And here is our extended lip area, the MEST that we're working on. M for Mortise, which means it has this taller cutout here, versus the standard cutout. Now, why would we want the M style? Well, you very likely have a mortise lock. And the concept of that 8-inch tall mortise lock body is that it has a deadbolt, and it has a latch, and then maybe an auxiliary down here, and then maybe stop works. So the concept is to fit all of this into the single hole that you have. Okay? That's the concept of what that is. Back to the technical drawing, you can see that it's going to be 1 3/16 from either end, which is this minus this divided by 2. I'm sorry, not 1 3/16. 11/16 is what that would be. Okay, 11/16 from either end. So that catalog will show you the different length extensions. The MEST103 is your 3-inch. They'll go up to 4-inch. 1.5 inch, 1 5/8, 1 3/4, 2, 2.5, 3, and 4. So lots of sizes. And just be mindful, the standard size is about 1.25 inches. So as you say to yourself, well, how much additional room do I need? It's a good guide to get you there, but you do need to do a reality check on that and make sure that you're ordering the right size. I had a client recently order a whole mess of 2-inch lip length, and which worked perfectly for our calculation, but then the client got it and they were still 1/4 inch too long, so he wanted to reorder all of the strikes. And I think what he was doing in that case is what he was basically having his strike just literally come to the edge of the jamb, where normally a strike is going to overhang that jamb ever so slightly. I think he wanted that no projecting hardware, so that lip literally came right here is what he was doing. Okay, and that, you know, the calculation doesn't allow for that. That lip does hang off the face of the jamb ever so slightly. So the balance of the catalog is handy because it will show you security strikes for locks and deadbolts, exclusively deadbolt security strikes as seen here, adjustable strikes, thimble strikes, and then those standard strikes that were up at the beginning of the catalog here. Now, speaking of catalog, there's a link here to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Don Jo products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog, but then also those subsections of the full catalog. If you don't want to wield that large document, let's just say you're looking for strike plates, we'll just look at the strike plate catalog. If you know the name Don Jo, you do certainly because of their latch protectors or their door reinforcing plates, but they make more than that. Push and pull hardware. They make pivots, hinges, ladder pulls. So it's nice that you can see all of their individual subsections of the catalog here. Let's wrap up this video on camera. In conclusion, a very nice quality item. You know, Don Jo makes this material. Other people do make extended lip strikes as well. But frankly, Don Jo, if you're looking for the single manufacturer that provides the greatest available choice, so to speak, of different sizes and types, and the fact that the material is generally either in stock or with a very short lead time, I've looked at Don Jo right from the get-go. Okay. Be mindful, though. A couple of interesting facts about things like this. It's not UL listed. Their door reinforcing plates, they're not UL listed. So be mindful when you're installing that material, you know, if you're dealing with fire doors, to be sure that what you're purchasing is indeed UL listed. It doesn't come up ever unless you're in the conversational circles of those people that are fire door assembly inspectors. But nonetheless, when you add a door reinforcing plate to a fire-rated door, you're adding fuel load, and that would technically be a problem for that door. But what's technically not a problem is the exceptional customer service from Don Jo. Very, very agreeable, happy to help type folks, and we appreciate them for that. Any questions on the Don Jo MEST103 in a DU finish or any other Don Jo product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.